this area has been farmed for hundreds of years. And so there's great benefit and value in what's here. How can I improve it? And hopefully when my kids take over the farm, I've got better ground than what I'm standing on now.
Everything is yield driven. Everything is economic driven. So this no-till is making economic sense, or we wouldn't be going down this road. We would have to abandon this road if it weren't paying off for us by making us more efficient, leaner, meaner, using less resources to produce more crops.
We really have a system that's working, and we're actually helping the environment.
With continuous no-till, we spend half the time on the tractors we used to. We're spending a lot more time with our families. We're farming the same amount of land or more land in less time and making more money.
More and more farmers all across Virginia are making the switch to soil building, continuous no-till systems. These farmers are cutting costs and saving time by planting all of their crops year in and year out without tillage. They're also maximizing the soil benefits that come with less disturbance by adding in cover crops, crop rotation, and other practices. As diverse as they are, one thing these farmers all have in common, they tell us that they are gaining ground.
My name is Samuel Gehring, and my grandfather bought the farm, and so I'm third generation. We milk 175 cows, and we have about an acre per cow of cropland. And the no-till has worked real well in that. Switched to no-till, some fields over 20 years now, and everything's been never-till for at least 10. So that's where we are with our, our tillage program. We let the earthworms do it.
My name is Cecil Byram, and I am the president of Byram Family Farm, which includes 3 entities, my father, my son, and myself. And we farm 2,000 plus acres under one management, and we share the equipment. When we first started growing cotton in the early 90s, we were told you had to rip and bed and clean till all the cotton. Through technology advancements, we were able to go to less tillage with the cotton, and we went to strip till. And now a good part of our cotton is produced 100% no-till.
My name is Jay Hunley, and this is a family farm. We go in the name of Cloverfield Enterprises, and it consists of my brother, my father, and myself. And we farm roughly 7,000 acres, growing corn, soybeans, wheat, barley. My philosophy on tillage is do not till. I don't ever want to see the soil turned if any way, shape, or form, if possible. And I think no-till is the only way to go.
Well, we are contract raising Holstein heifers. We keep around 400 head. Since we've gone to no-till, I've seen some very positive responses. Some people seem to think that making the switch from conventional to no-till, you'll see a yield drag. We did not see that.
My name is Paul Davis, retired extension agent after 28 years with Virginia Tech as a crop and soil scientist. I grew up here on the family farm. We're located right here on the Pamunkey River. The farm has 1,200 acres, but my father and I farm about 250 of it. We have converted every acre that we farmed into continuous no-till, and it has a cover crop on it.
I'm Anthony Beery. We farm about 450 acres. We have 300 head of dairy cows, and we have some poultry as well. I mean, a lot of what we hear today is aimed at water quality. How do we improve water quality? And I feel like we're getting there with some of the practices that we're using. With this continuous no-till, we're making the water stay where it falls. We're making the soil a sponge. We're keeping the water here. We're keeping the nutrients here. We're growing organic matter in the soil. We're growing better crops because of it, and it's a win-win all the way around.
My name is Dale Holland. I farm in Suffolk, Virginia. My son and I, we farm about 2,200 acres. About 95% of it is no-till, and some of it has been in no-till for 30 years. There are just so many benefits. I don't even know where you would stop at. Even if I had to pay you to let me plant no-till, I would plant no-till. So that's the way it is.
We're farming more land than than this farm has ever farmed in its history. We're doing it with less people than it's ever been done, and we're doing it with less horsepower.
In the spring, I don't have to worry about plowing. I don't have to worry about disking it down, harrowing, all these things that we need to do when we're in a tillage system.
Just the two of us do all the planting and all the harvesting and spraying, and we couldn't do that if it was conventional till. We'd probably have to have 3 more people.
Invariably, when we worked the ground, we pulled up a lot of rocks, and I've picked up so many rocks on this farm that, I just was tired of it, and my son was tired of it, and so yeah, there is a big time savings.
And also in the fall last year, we were extremely wet. I could pick, and the people that were conventional till, they couldn't. They'd have to wait weeks to be able to do it. And I could get 3 or 4 inches of rain, a couple of days, I could be back on the ground, going.
Over the years, with continuous no-till, we've really seen the benefit of our soil quality getting better and better.
We've always known that no-till farming can reduce erosion by water and wind. But what we're finding out is these continuous no-till systems aren't just saving topsoil, they're literally rebuilding it. Rebuilding soil organic matter, soil life, and a more natural, stable sponge structure, the 3 key components of topsoil.
We were working our soil, and I kind of concluded that we were just beating our soil to death. And now you can take a shovel or spade out in the fields, and you can dig, and you can about always find earthworm passages. The soil just has a structure to it that it didn't have before.
To me, when you have all those earthworms in there, it's like running a subsoil, to open it up. So, to me, every year it just gets better, the soil does. So.
I've seen the soil become this sponge that actually takes in the water instead of dumping it off down in the river or the creek or the bottom of the field.
That's one of the long-term benefits of the no-till. If we can keep that water in the field, especially for the benefit of that crop, when that crop is growing, then it's a win-win situation.
To fully appreciate the potential runoff and erosion from a conventionally tilled field like this, you really need to be out here during the most intense thunderstorm of the year. Since most people aren't willing to do that, here in Virginia we use a rainfall simulator to help our farmers tell the story of what happens when it rains really hard. On the left, we start with a tray of dry, loose soil taken from a clean till field. On the right, we start with a slice of intact surface soil from a long-term no-till field. This soil is not only protected with a mulch of cover crop residue, it also has a stable, porous sponge structure.
Years ago as a kid, I remember, you'd get these big heavy thunderstorms in the summer, and it would just wash the field, and you'd end up with mud down on the road. And I'm talking about mud that you'd go over there with a skid loader and scoop out of the way so the cars could go down the road. What I'm seeing now is I'm seeing these heavy rainfalls, and I'm barely seeing a trickle coming out of the field.
After we simulate an extremely intense thunderstorm for 5 minutes, the differences are obvious. Most of the water we applied to this soil has run off into this jar, carrying away with it a thin but very significant layer of topsoil. We just applied 1.5 inches of very intense rainfall to this bare, tilled soil. Obviously, we harvested very little for future plant use. Meanwhile, this no-till soil has absorbed virtually every drop of water we applied. What little ran off is clear. The bottom line is pretty simple. If you want to harvest more rain like these no-till farmers are doing, keep your soil covered on top and make it a sponge underneath.
Our yields, as far as I'm concerned, our yields have increased due to the no-till because of the water holding capacity. Where we used to work it up, the soils would dry out faster, the organic matter is better, which is going to increase yields.
With proper planning and the technology available today, most Virginia farmers can make the initial switch to continuous no-till without a yield reduction. As soils improve over time, farmers are seeing healthier crops and better yields.
We just don't see the issues where you have yellow corn in the spring and you think it's going to be nitrogen will take care of it. Maybe it was a compaction issue, maybe it was a nitrogen deficiency, but we just don't have those issues like we used to have.
In the last 10 years, our yields continue to go up. I'd say they've gone up 25%, and we accredit it to the continuous no-till and the cover crops.
You're not going to see it overnight, but if you give it enough time and just start working with it, it's definitely a plus. I would never go back to conventional tillage.
The continuous no-till, I'd say, is the number one issue. Stop tilling, and then as soon as you get comfortable with that, jump right into having cover crops. That is a next step to increase your yields.
Making the switch to continuous no-till will involve costs and challenges that will vary from farm to farm. But one of the keys to success for many Virginia no-tillers has been to take a systems approach. Not just parking the plow, but also adding to the farming system other practices proven to make no-till work better. 3 of the most important: cover crops, crop rotation, and compaction prevention.
I think foremost in my mind, and maybe most dairy farmers' minds, is compaction because of the manure that we take it back out to the field. So we've really tried to focus on eliminating that compaction before it happens rather than going back and fixing a problem. We're also looking at the broader spectrum, the whole system, if you will, and maybe seeing what benefits we can get from a tillage radish with some of these other deeply rooted plants, alfalfa rotations, those kind of things, trying to think outside the box of just a conventional tillage option.
Cover crops, to me, is one of the best things that you can do. It's anything that was left in the soil after you've harvested your crop. The cover crop should capture those nutrients, hold them in that plant. And of course, it helps with putting organic matter back in the soil. And you got to remember, the soil is alive. That's what it is. It's nothing but an organism. It's a living thing, pretty much. And you need to feed it just like you do any other thing that you raise in that field.
An open mind is one of the biggest assets you can have in agriculture. And always be flexible and always be looking for a better wheel. There is no going back to clean tillage. Economics is not going to allow it. And we know so much more and we have tools to work with. It's important to use those tools wisely and be a good steward of the tools as well as the land.
I believe that it's made me a better farmer and a better conservationist.
I just enjoy farming now. I don't know, when one year gets done, I'm just ready to go into the next one.
We love this land. We love what we do. We feel like we're some of the chosen few because we're still on the farm. We want to make this place a better place for our children and our grandchildren.
The next generation hopefully will come on and they'll be able to prosper and pick it up and run right along with it. So, I mean, it's a big circle, you know, and everybody's in it.